Girls, when we last left off with Ramona, she and her sister got into some trouble with her parents because they didn't want to eat what was for dinner. So now her parents are making her and her sister Bezu's eat and make their own dinner. And they don't know what they're making yet because they have to go into the kitchen to find out. And Ramona thinks that she can get out of making dinner if she's extra good to her parents, that they're going to forget about dinner. So let's see what happens. Chapter 5, the extra good Sunday. Sunday morning, Ramona and Bezus were still resolved to be perfect until dinner time. They got up without being called, avoided arguing over who should read Dear Abby's advice first in the paper, complimented their mother on her French toast, and went off through the drizzly rain to Sunday school, neat, combed, and bravely smiling. Later, they cleaned their rooms without being told. At lunchtime, they ate without complaint the sandwich they knew was made of ground-up tongue. A little added pickle relish did not fool them, but it did help. They dried the dishes and carefully avoided looking in the direction of the refrigerator, lest their mother would be reminded that they were supposed to cook the evening meal. Mr. and Mrs. Quimby were good-humored. In fact, everyone was so unnaturally pleasant that Ramona almost wished someone would say something cross. But early morning, the question was still hanging in the air. By early afternoon, the question was still hanging in the air. Would the girls really have to prepare dinner? Why doesn't somebody say something, Ramona thought, weary of being so good, weary of longing to forgive her mother for the raw eggs in her lunch. Well, back to the old foot, said Mr. Quimby, as he once more settled himself on the couch with a drawing pad and a pencil and pulled off his sock and shoe. The rain finally stopped. Ramona watched the dry spots appear on the sidewalk and thought of her roller skates in the closet. She looked into Bezus' room and found her sister reading. Ramona knew Bezus wanted to telephone Mary Jane, but had decided to wait until Mary Jane called to ask why she had not come over. Mary Jane did not call. The day dragged on. When the dry spots on the concrete in front of the Quimby's house widened until moisture remained only in the cracks of the sidewalk, Ramona pulled her skates out of the closet. To her father, who was holding a drawing of his foot at arm's length to study it, she said, "Well, guess I'm going to go out and skate." "Aren't you forgetting something?" he asked. "What?" said Ramona, knowing very well what. "Dinner," he said. The question had hung in the air all day and had finally been answered. The matter was settled. "We're stuck," Ramona told Bezus. "Now we can stop being so good." The sisters went into the kitchen, shut the door, and opened the refrigerator. "A package of chicken thighs," said Bezus with a groan, "and a package of frozen peas and yogurt, 1 carton of plain, 1 carton of banana. There must have been some special in yogurt." She closed the refrigerator and reached for the cookbook. "I can make place cards," said Ramona, as Bezus frantically flipped through the pages. "We can't eat place cards," said Bezus. "Besides, cornbread is your job because you thought it up." Both girls spoke in whispers. There was no need to let their parents know, their mean old parents know, what was going on behind the kitchen door. In her mother's recipe file, Ramona found a card for cornbread written in Mr. Quimby's grandmother's shaky handwriting, which Ramona found very difficult to read. "I can't find a recipe for chicken thighs," said Bezus, "just a whole chicken. I know that Mother bakes the thighs in a flat glass dish with some kind of sauce, mushroom soup mixed with something, and something with little specks stirred into it." Ramona remembered that much from watching her mother cook. Bezus opened the cupboard of canned goods. "There isn't any mushroom soup," she said. "What are we going to do?" "I don't know. Mix it with something wet," suggested Ramona. "It would serve them right if it tasted awful." "Yeah, why don't we make something awful?" asked Bezus. "So they know how it feels when we had to eat tongue." "What tastes really awful?" Ramona was eager to go along with the suggestion until, with her sister against their enemy, united with her sister against the enemy, for the moment, their parents. Bezus, always practical, changed her mind. It wouldn't work. We would have to eat it too, and they're so mean they'll probably have us do the dishes besides. Anyway, I guess you might say our honor is at stake, because they think that we can't cook a good meal. Ramona was ready to come up with another solution. Throw everything in a dish. Beezus opened the package of chicken thighs and stared at them with distaste. I can't stand touching raw meat, she said, and she picked up the chicken thighs between 2 forks. Do we have to eat the skin? Asked Ramona. All those yucky little bumps. Beezus found a pair of chicken tongs, trying to hold down the thigh with the fork and pull off the skin with the tongs. Here, let me hold it, Ramona said, who was not squeamish about touching things like worms or raw meat. She took a firm hold of the thigh while Ramona grasped the skin with the tongs. Both pulled, and the skin peeled away. They played tug-of-war with each thigh, leaving a sad heap of skins on the counters and layers of chicken thighs in the glass dish. Can't you remember what the little specks were that Mother uses? Asked Beezus. Ramona could not. The girl studied the spice shelf, unscrewed the jar and lids, and sniffed. Nutmeg? No. Cloves? Ugh, terrible. Cinnamon? Chili powder? Well, yes, that must be it. Ramona remembered that the specks were red. Beezus stirred half a teaspoon of the dark red powder into the yogurt, which she poured over the chicken thighs. She slid the dish into the oven at 350 degrees, the temperature recommended for cooking the chicken by the cookbook. We'll stop there and we'll pick up in a minute.